I personally think that storyline is important for games, but as we all know from Angry Birds and stuff like that, sometimes it's not only about the story, or even less about the story, but more about the gameplay. So realistically speaking, how important is a proper storyline really compared to more of a addictive gameplay?
It depends on what platform and what audience. Clearly, for an immersive console game, you need an awful lot of storyline as well as gameplay, because you're creating an interactive cinematic experience, and it requires the characters to be immersive in terms of the story. So the more you have storylines that involve character definition and progress, films like game like Black Rain and others that drag you into the story and pull you along, and you can weave the story as you go through the game. I think that's really important. At the same time, if you're on public transport somewhere and you just want 5 minutes of snacking on a little puzzle game, that's equally relevant. They're not mutually exclusive. It depends on time, platform, occasion, length of time wanting to play. The important thing that the big interactive cinematic experiences and the bite-sized chunks of mobile gaming are along a broad arc of entertainment which is provided only by games. That interactive component is the thing that sets us apart from other entertainment mediums, so long-lived games.
Thank you.
Eleanor, you had a question about benchmarks. Do you want to ask that?
Yeah, so most of my questions are about coding and benchmarks, because that's the kind of company I'm involved with at the moment. So I was thinking, do you think there should be a benchmark or level or standard that should be set that everybody should be able to code to of the general population, if there can be a benchmark set?
That's what worries me about the examination we're following now. We've finally got a national curriculum. The benchmark is going to be different depending on what you're doing. So some children want to make an app, others make a game, others design a website, others maybe program a robot. But if the exam is no more than a written test, I have no idea whether the person is good at coding or not. So what I'm trying to do now is trying to get a meeting with all the governing bodies for the exams to make sure that the exams are relevant to their learning. It'd be pointless if you could actually able to make something wonderful through your own code that's not taken into account in an examination. So for me, it's not just passing an exam to get a mark that gives you a status symbol within employment. It's about, are you able to do what you want to do? So you've got to try and bring the workplace closer to the classroom and make sure that people are actually equipped for jobs that don't yet exist, rather than old style of training kids often for jobs that will no longer exist in the near future.
Yeah.
But I'm less worried about marks, I'm more interested in ability.
Okay, so I'm not sure too much about the test, how it's tested. Is it usually in a written exam or coursework or something like that?
I think coursework and building a portfolio of work is equally important than being able to pass a test on a certain day where tomorrow you might not be able to pass it. But even though coursework has been marginalised, I think, in years, because I think the assessment thinking is more like cheating, but it's real learning, and that's worth as much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have another question they'd like to put you in?
Yeah, I would like to ask something else. Is that right?
Okay, shall we? I'll come to you in a minute, Irene. We'll just go with Mike. Do you want to ask a question, Mike?
Yeah, going back to the coming up with a unique art style, can I ask what have been the top art styles that have grabbed you personally in games recently? What's really kind of immersed you and excited you creatively?
I think if you can create some sort of emotional resonance with somebody, that is a great art style. I don't think you can point to any particular art style and say that is better than the other. In the same way, you can't say that Van Gogh is better than Berger, is better than Miro, is better than some classical artist. It's if you have this emotional connection with the audience, then that is a great art style.
All right, I'd like to say thank you very much to Ian, and thanks to all of you for supplying the questions and for joining. Also, thank you to Bartel Vogel Hegarty for doing the technology and hosting this. And thanks to Vic and the team at Noise for doing all of the backup and getting all this arranged. So hopefully everyone got what they needed out of it. And next webinar is next month, and that's with Gerald Scarf, the illustration artist. So thanks very much, everybody.
I look forward to playing your game soon.